Welcome everyone to our February 1st, 2021 meeting of the commissioners. We'll ask you to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First on our agenda is employee recognition. And we had our luncheon, recognition luncheon today. And we'd just like to make sure that everybody knows that Joanne Beam at the prosecutor's office has worked 24 years as of 2/9 of this year. And then Carlee Henry, also at the circuit court, 21 years of service. So we do want to thank them and appreciate their service for the county. Also, I'd like to announce that Linda Jones retired as a confinement officer. And I'm not sure how many years Linda had been here, 24 years maybe. I think it was right around 24 years. So she's really done a great job for us. And I just wanted to mention that we're going to miss her. Okay, Matt.
The only thing I really have to present are things that are on the agenda later that I reviewed. So I don't have anything outside of those things that are already on the agenda. So.
Okay. Okay, the next on the agenda is Mark Coonrod. We received an IPEP safety grant, and we'd like to do a presentation for that grant if we could. Mark? I think Katie will, okay, Katie, we'll have Katie get up. Is Brandon here? Not? Well, okay. Okay, the most important is Katie. We'll have her come up. We're going to take a picture as we are awarded the presentation. Yes.
This is really pretty cool because it recognizes the county's dedication to safety for its employees. And this grant is $10,209 is for the county highway department for safety equipment. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. And that's a great situation for the highway department. I think they're going to use it for safety shoes. Is that true? Oh, okay, good. Good, good. Well, we appreciate that, the help you've had and applying for that grant. Really appreciate it. Okay, Cindy Doolittle. Is Cindy here? Impact automatic paper folder.
I had talked to you guys a few weeks back about leasing this piece of equipment for a postage machine. Chad did come over last week so he could kind of get an idea of what it's for. But during the election, if we wouldn't have had this piece of equipment, it would have been really hard to get all of our ballots out. And also both courts use it for their jury questionnaires. It just saves a lot of time and headache, actually. But anyway, I have a copy of the lease. I had, after we talked, he told me to forward it on to Matt, and he looked at it and he thought everything looked up and up. So what it is, it's $30 a month, which is $360 a year. And I have a copy of it right here. Sign it.
Thanks.
But we've never used anything like this before, but after the representative Chuck Schrader with Impact, he had said that there was a lot of other counties that were using it as well. And now since we have it, we don't want to give it back.
And I will say after going up and seeing it and getting a better understanding of how it's being used, I think it's worth every penny.
Great.
I think really for the cost for an annual rental, it just makes sense to me.
Do we know what line item we're going to use for that, or?
Well, I don't carry any kind of a line item in postage. That's just all, I don't even have access to it. So, I mean, I don't have any.
I'm sure,
Because the postage is paid out of the commissioner's budget.
okay.
But I don't know if this would be like, do you have any equipment? I don't remember. Do you have any equipment line items? I don't remember.
I just did, but I just used every last bit of it for laptops.
Okay.
We still had postage left over from last year. Can we use that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there'll be plenty of funds in that account.
Is that okay
so.
with commissioners?
Yeah, I would move that we approve the request using the leftover money from the budget and postage.
Okay, we got a motion to approve.
Second?
Got a second? Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you, Cindy.
Also, I just wanted to say, if anybody over here would need to use it, like sending out for tax bills, things like that, you're more than welcome to use it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, we have Carlee LaRue, drug-free Whitley County grant.
So, should have gotten this sheet with all the different grants that were given out for drug free Whitley County. It's one of the weird steps with this group is that we have to go to commissioners and council just kind of like you're in favor and allowing us to proceed with awarding these grants. The funding is different where you guys can oversee how we give the money, but in all reality, our finance committee is kind of. So I'm here to answer any questions if you have them about the grants and if you guys are about this, then we'll move on to the council and get these people awarded.
So I think my only concern with it was, and we were having a discussion about it earlier, if this grant were to go away, how would this be funded?
Which,
I guess any of them. I mean, it adds up to roughly $50,000.
right, so what happens is this actually comes from the state. We have the fees that are associated with drug and alcohol arrests. A portion of that comes to this group and then a portion of that. So as far as I know, unless any legislation actually changes, it's the state, so Indiana Criminal Justice, ICJI, so they're the ones that require that we have certain percentages for prevention, treatment, criminal justice, that kind of stuff. But the money's gonna be there unless they change it.
So all of these amounts have been granted already then?
By our finance committee, yeah, so we just need you guys to review it.
For the South Whitley Police Department for the drug canine, that full amount was not awarded. Do you know how they're funding? It looks like roughly $11,000. For that?
So for that, I think you just kind of threw out a general number. For
Oh,
what you,
okay.
Hope to get from it. I don't know how much he's for that cost. I know he's getting some money. And program, I know there's a lot of different costs, you know, getting the dog trained and all of these different. Part of that, or if that's for the whole program. With that, we have to maintain certain percentages for each program. So I think it's a minimum of 25% for each. And for the administrative cost, it has to be less than 20%. I can't remember off the top of my head, but in order to fit those percentages, we had to adjust the amount awarded.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we give them a favor verbal pass to accept the grants for 2021 for the Whitley County Drug Free Program.
Okay, we got a motion to approve the local drug-free communities fund, funds for Whitley County for 2021.
No second.
We got a second. Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you. Nathan Bilger, rezoning certifications. Nathan is our building and planning and building director.
Thank you, and if you don't mind, I have a plat as well for your review and approval. So we'll take the rezonings first. The first one is 21 W REZ1. That's a rezoning from AG agricultural to RR rural residential. This was heard at the January Plan Commission meeting. It's for 8.2 acres, give or take, located along 800 East, just half mile north of 24 or so. In this case, this is being rezoned because of the changes we made in the zoning code a couple years ago, stating that anytime you have 3 or more lots from a parent tract, you can no longer leave that in AG agricultural. You need to rezone it. The plat that's associated with this creates that 3rd lot, and so that's why they're seeking this rezoning. Plan Commission forwarded this with favorable recommendation with a vote of 9-0. And you have the certification, staff report, maps, and so on. So if you have questions for me, I'd be happy to address them.
I move that we approve the rezoning as presented.
Okay, we got a motion to approve petition number 21-W-REZ-01.
Second.
We've got a second.
George, I'm sorry. It's an ordinance.
Correct.
Right, so sorry, can you add?
It's
20
actually, okay,
Is there an
I'm
ordinance
sorry.
number?
Yeah, 2021-01.
I amend my motion to include ordinance number 2021-01.
we got a motion to approve ordinance number 2021-01.
Second.
Got a second. Discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
Thank you. The second rezoning is 21-W-REZ2. It's a AG to AGP request by Daniel and Deborah Michael. The Michaels are in the audience in case you have questions for them when we get to that point. The total acreage of this is 767, give or take, all located within Washington Township. The Michaels are seeking AGP zoning per their statement. They're planning for their kids' future in agriculture and their grandkids as well. Let's see. The vote at again, this was heard at the January Plan Commission meeting. The vote was 7-1-1, so 7 in favor, 1 against, and 1 abstention for a favorable recommendation. So this did receive favorable recommendation to the commissioners. And again, you have the certification and additional materials. And I did get the ordinance put together, so Jana has that distributed. It was several legal descriptions to put together. That's why it took a little bit of time. So.
And this is ordinance number 2021-02.
You said 2021.
2021-02.
I move that we approve the rezoning for the ordinance 20-2102.
Got a motion to approve the ordinance for 2021-02.
I'll second.
Got a second. Any further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
Thank you. And the plat, and thank you for squeezing this on the pocket. This is the plat of Lance Acres, which is coincidentally, somewhat coincidentally, located immediately adjacent to that rezoning, the first rezoning we heard, located along 800 East. What they were doing was adding some acreage to square up their parcel. It had been an L-shaped parcel. Now they're adding some acreage from the area that was being rezoned or is being rezoned to this. This is still an AG agricultural because it was the first lot from that parent tract. The other parcel was the one that created lots 2 and 3 that necessitated it. This was approved, primary plat was approved at the December Plan Commission meeting. So do you have questions for me?
I move that we approve Lance Acres amendment as presented.
Got a motion to approve as presented.
Second?
Second. Discussion. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you, Nathan.
It's on the bottom right there.
Give you the golden pen back.
Thank you.
While Nathan is here, one thing Nathan and I talked about that we should be considering for the future is one of the cars that they have is a Fusion. What year is that? A 12? 2000?
12 or 13.
Yeah, 2012 Fusion that the building department is using, the inspectors, really isn't the best thing for the building department. So what he's asking that if we would consider sometime down the road here that we would replace that with something like an Escape or something that would be better suited for that. So just bring that forward a little bit.
Sure. Thank you, George.
Jason Meyer. Passages.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Jason.
I just wanted to update.
Give us your name and
I'm sorry. Yeah.
position.
So Jason Meyer, Executive Director of Passages and Whitley Crossings here in Whitley County. So hopefully everyone can hear me okay. Wanted to just update the commissioners today on a merger we have coming up with Easterseals ARC in Northeast Indiana. So we've worked with Easterseals many years and partnered on various projects together, most recently pre-employment transition services here in Whitley County for youth with developmental and intellectual disabilities. We did announce in mid-December that we'll be merging with Easterseals ARC and will become Easterseals Passages effective March 1st. So I provide a copy of the news release with to all of you today. What we'll see very, very limited changes here in Whitley County. Our direct support professionals, all the individuals we serve at Passages will still be at our Creative Learning Center. Our administrative building on Van Buren will be moving over to the Creative Learning Center as well. So that's one change you might see, but we're excited about the merger. It's going to give a lot of opportunity for the individuals we serve, more programs, more services, and we'll be part of the Easterseals family, which is a national brand, as well as they're both members of ARC of Indiana like we are as well. So just wanted to make you aware of those changes. I'll still be Executive Director of Easterseals Passages as well as doing some government relations work and strategic initiatives with Easterseals as well. Also in the release there just showed you that we will be merging with our housing corporation, Whitley Crossings Neighborhood Corporation, with Brightpoint, formerly Canine, prior to their name change. So Brightpoint provides services here in Whitley County, and very limited change there as well. They agreed to take on both the housing manager, Whitley Crossings, as well as the maintenance director there. So their offices will still be in Whitley County, and we'll still be proceeding with the Oak Street Homes development over by our Creative Learning Center. So we're planning to break ground on 9 new homes later this year, as well as rehabilitating the Clugston Senior Apartments. So we have grants from several state agencies to get that accomplished, and those are still on tack there. So I'd be happy to answer any questions from the commissioners, but just wanted to give that update to all of you. So
I think one of my concerns was the grants. I knew that we'd received a couple of grants. I was hoping that those would go along with the merger.
yes, yep, we're still proceeding with all of those as well.
The Clugston will stay with Passages Easterseals.
It'll be Whitley Crossings, so that'll convert to Brightpoint. Brightpoint's planning to keep Whitley Crossings Neighborhood Corporation.
Okay.
Do you have any idea on the 9 new homes timeframe on those?
The goal is spring, but Indiana Housing Community Development Authority is a little behind in terms of with some of the rental assistance programs they're doing. COVID's put them behind a bit, but the goal is still spring. And then, of course, it's finding builders and contractors. We have an idea that they're pretty busy right now, too. So, yeah, the goal is still spring, early summer for both.
How many total homes do you have right now?
So with Whitley Crossings, we have 65. So we have the Whitley Meadows Apartments over off of Hannah Street. We have Heritage Homes, which we have about 21 homes off of Airport Road of that 100 home subdivision. And then the Clugston Senior Apartments, so 65 altogether there. And then with Passages, we own, I believe, 11 homes and apartments altogether. So actually 7 are Passages for Whitley Crossings. And then county funds have continued to be utilized for our community or our transportation. We have a great partnership with Whitley County Transit, and we also have a fleet of vehicles too. So those funds we greatly appreciate, and still we're going to be utilizing those for our transportation fleet.
Will that be utilized just in Whitley County, or will that be being used in Kosciuszko as well?
So no, the exciting thing about the merger, and I'm glad you asked that, is all funds raised here in Whitley County stay in Whitley County. So any dollars we receive fundraising wise, as well as through county funds, et cetera, stay in Whitley County.
That's good.
So, yep.
Passages has been a great asset to the county for a long time here with the Whitley Crossings, and we want to thank you for all that you do for our.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jason. You have a really tough job, and I've watched you over the years, and you've done a really good job leading the organization, so thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Teresa.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good day.
Becky Salaway, fourth quarter voucher approval.
Hello, I'm Becky Salaway. I know that we've met once, but I'm not sure that you and I have had the opportunity to meet.
I don't think we've officially met.
Yeah. I'm the executive director. So, and we have, of course, the Woodland Senior Activity Center and the transit system. Whitley County Transit are our two main program categories there. This is our fourth quarter voucher, which is for the end of 2020. And we're very glad to see that in our rearview mirror, as I'm sure most people are. You should have received that in an email. Did you guys get that? Yeah. Okay, great. So this quarter, we are requesting $131,381 of our awarded grant funds from MnDOT. That leaves us $750,660 for the year 2021. With the CARES Act grant, they made it a 6-quarter, which is not really possible, but you know, it's in dot. So anyway, there's 6 quarters in 2021. And so the first 2 were at the end of 2020, and now we're moving into 2021. So all requests or vouchers now will be for the year 2021 from this point forward. So this is just kind of leftover business from the fiscal year 2020. Anybody have any questions for me?
No?
Okay, do I have a motion?
I move that we approve the voucher.
We've got a motion to approve the Whitley County Council on Aging fourth quarter voucher.
Second?
Got a second discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
I have one more set of paperwork, if it's okay if I add it, and tell me if you have time. We did receive 2 grants, or I'm sorry, 2 vehicles were awarded to us in our capital grant from the 2021 quarter. And on Friday, they sent me the purchase agreement. So it just is confirming the grant that we already signed and put in place in June of 2020. So this would be for the 2 vehicles that we would be receiving. They are pretty awesome, and I have a packet for each one of you so you can get a chance to look at them. They're a little different in that they are, I think, 15 inches longer, which is really great because it gives everybody a little more knee room inside the vehicle, and it makes wheelchair securement a lot easier. So the number of passengers is the same. It's called a 12 and 2. So 12 passengers, 2 handicapped, or 2 wheelchairs, I should say. It does have a lift. In our fleet, we only have 1 vehicle that is not handicap accessible. All of the rest of ours are. This one, of course, has a Braun lift on it, as the others have. So these 2 vehicles should be coming. Well, typically they come in October, and they always come in October, and this last year they came in August. So you just don't know. They just sort of show up. We are W, so we do wait to the end of the line. So that's kind of how that works. So anyway, the grant that we were awarded was for $119,000 for the purchase of those 2 vehicles. With some of the options that we chose and didn't choose, we are under that budget. Not by a whole lot, but $418, something like that. We're to the good. So.
Do you need a motion on this also then?
Yeah, if you would just sign it once this is the purchase agreement with Midwest Transit to say, yes, those are the vehicles we want, and that we will pay for them regardless. So, but they are the ones that we had picked out, and there is CARES Act grant funding for them. So.
Great.
And just for clarification, we've already received the grant.
We've already received the grant.
Okay.
It was already approved in, the commissioners signed it originally in June, I believe. And we were awarded those funds, I think first part of end of June, I think it was. End of June, we were awarded those grant funds, so.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm just gonna make a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve George's signature on the purchase agreement.
Got a motion to approve the chairman to sign the purchase agreement?
Second?
Got a second discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
And while we're doing that signing, I just thought I'd give you a little bit of update as far as numbers. When I was here last time, we were discussing that we had the opportunity to offer free rides on our transit system. We felt like that was a good way we could help and lift the load a little bit. So we did provide free rides from July 1 to December 31. And we provided 12,192 free rides in that
Wow.
time period. Total number of rides for 2020 was 23,633. That is a little bit down. In 2019, we did 33,267, which is about our average. We do about the mid 30s. So we were still down. We are still running low. But what we're finding is we're going a lot farther out to Tri-Lakes and different places. So our mileage isn't a whole lot different, but the number of rides is still a little bit down. So in addition to that, just for everyone to know, we are providing free transportation to COVID shots, vaccinations. So for a while, we weren't getting a whole lot of shots here in Whitley County. So when people were calling in, they were getting routed to, Fort Wayne or Warsaw or somewhere else. And so we were able to secure funds through aging and in-home services so that we were able to provide those rides for free. So we will be continuing to do that. So if anybody needs a ride for the vaccine, we can do. Another thing you might be interested in 2019, we served approximately 6,984 meals. All of those were in-house. In March of this last year, we closed in-house meals on Friday the 13th appropriately. And that following Monday, we started in-home delivery meals. So it was a pretty big jump turnaround. Last year, 2020, we served 11,998 meals. So we almost doubled the number of meals served. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of the team. They did a really excellent job. In addition to that, we gave away 884 meals for those who couldn't afford. And as far as our food bags are concerned, it's 20 pounds of food that's delivered once a month. And last year, 2020, we delivered 335. So at this point, we plan to continue the home delivered meal service, and certainly the food delivery program that we've had that for quite some time, and that will continue. We are going to continue with the home delivered meals, which again is a new service for us, but it's gone over gangbusters. Clearly, we've doubled, and part of that is because of the COVID and people can't go out, but part of it is, people got familiar with their food and it's easy and convenient. It's $4 for a meal. So
You get to talk to somebody too.
they get to talk to somebody. Yes. So it's been a really awesome thing, and we will be continuing to provide that service as long as we can. So that's about all I have.
Thank you, Becky.
Thank you.
We got to do the 12,000 free miles or free rides. So
Perfect.
yeah, we did start charging again in January, but we didn't raise our fees or anything. It's the same as it always was.
Oh, we appreciate all you do.
You're very welcome. Glad to do it.
Thank you.
Any questions? She can say. Or no, it's okay.
2021 has 6 years.
That's why.
We started numbering them.
Okay. Sounds good.
That's 205.
Okay, yep, I'll get it to you.
Thank you.
Okay, next I have the memorandum of understanding with the Humane Society. Is anybody here from the shelter?
I did
Matt?
review that, and
Okay.
it's exactly the same as it has been in previous years. So from that standpoint, I was comfortable with it.
And I had a chance to look that over this morning as well. And I would move that we approve it.
Okay, we got a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding with the Humane Shelter.
Second.
Got a second discussion? I'd just like to say it's for $25,000, up to $25,000. And they're charging $108 per animal up to that 25,000. Okay, any further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you. Next, we have Star Insurance Group Policy Review. Is Leslie here? Leslie's not here.
This is the agreement that when she presented to us with an
Okay.
update.
Okay, so that would be through the Sirius America Insurance Company. And I think Matt's had a chance to take a look at this also.
I have.
And this is for our health insurance. It's, we're changing things from what used to be that our year to year with the health insurance went from August to August. And so this year we tried to simplify that a little bit, and we're running it from January to January. So we had to have a new new commitment for this as of January 1st. And so that's what this is.
Yeah, I reviewed it and I also heard from Leslie, and I would move that, that we approve it, that we give you the authority to sign the amended agreement.
Okay, we got a motion to approve with the chair signing.
Second?
There's second discussion. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Then we also have the WIC director insurance eligibility. Scott Wagner, the health department director.
So when checking with Jennifer noticed that in 2017, the commissioners had excluded a number of people, including the director for that. I guess Janet and I didn't know that. So when she got hired on and she could do the 35 hours, the state said that they would pay for that eligibility and, any insurance and things like that. So she was eligible at that time. So we need to either change that, or how you guys want to handle that. She's been under the impression, I've been under the impression since she was hired last year, that she was full-time at 35 hours and would be eligible for insurance.
And the cost to cover that insurance, you said would come from state funding.
Yes, so even though they technically were the sponsor and they're county employees, all their funding comes through the state. We pay them, we're reimbursed by the state. So any insurance will be reimbursed by the state. And all that was cleared out when she was hired.
So at this point, you would just need us to amend
Correct.
the rule so that she could be considered eligible to receive it.
Yes, please.
I feel comfortable with that. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, as
where
long
you
as we're
guys
getting
stand.
reimbursed for all of it.
That sounds like she should have had it anyway, so I would agree. I don't know if we have to have an amendment to our insurance policy.
I would imagine we would have to do something if she
Well,
was
as far as I
formally
know,
excluded.
Jennifer, wasn't just something in the meeting that they decided?
So it would need to be a formal, sorry,
I'm just gonna make.
it would need to be a formal motion then, right?
It sounds like it's undecided, so why not make it one? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That way you don't have to do it.
Yeah.
again.
Okay.
And then it goes to
Because
council.
I'm not sure what
Is
Leslie needs. Yeah, then,
that-
Yeah, I'll take it tomorrow when I go there anyway.
or maybe a
Okay.
favorable pass to council, I guess, really.
I'll make a motion for a favorable pass for the WIC director to start receiving health insurance through the county with reimbursement from the state.
Okay, we've got a motion to approve the reimbursement.
I second.
Second. Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same.
Did you want me to give an update while I'm here?
I'd love
Yes,
that.
please.
So we are seeing a decrease in the number of cases for Whitley County. Unfortunately, we're still red this week. We were at 15.12%. So since we're over 15, we're still red. We're hoping that the next couple of weeks we can get down into orange like everybody else in the northern 2/3 of Indiana, so that we can start increasing meetings and things like that. Dr. Burkett did not issue his 4th public health order. So local businesses and schools are not restricted to anything more than what the governor is saying at this time. So I'm sure they'll appreciate that. We're seeing vaccinations in the clinic now here 4 days a week. We are getting 1,000 doses a week and trying to get them scheduled as best we can. Anybody 65 and older, announced today. Healthcare workers, law enforcement can all get their shots here if they wish. They just need to go on to www.rshot.in.gov. So we're just doing our best we can, get people in and out. We haven't had any complaints, issues yet. So I think we're going as smooth as we can. The National Guard is helping us out, and so is Parkview Whitley with volunteers. So that is helping a great deal.
So in order to move to orange, we need 2 consecutive weeks below 15%. Okay.
So hopefully by the middle of February, we'll be orange again.
Good. We appreciate all the time and effort that you're putting in on this. I know there's a lot of hours.
Anybody wants to volunteer, it'd be great. April and I are putting in 50 hours a week now, so. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yep.
Brandon Forrester, 2020 Annual Report and Update.
Good afternoon. So I emailed you all a copy of our annual operations report to the Highway Department. As you can see, in the breakdown in receipts and expenditures, we have 6 different funds that we're working fund monies through. The MVH, the MVH restricted, the local road and street, June Bridge, highway fund, and community crossings. So there are a lot of numbers in there. The total of all funds, as far as receipts, was call it 5.5 million. Total expenditures, 5.59 million. This all comes from the auditor's ledgers, basically, and we assign projects to expenses. And all of our receipts and expenses have to be broken down, like for disbursements between winter operations and maintenance operations and construction, reconstruction, preservation expenses, as well as administrative expenses. And so there are a lot of numbers. I'm not going to go through all of them. Hopefully you've had a chance to review them. We do not, one of the sections is debt. We don't have any debt or bonds. We have to update our mileage of our road. We added 12 miles of asphalt road for our community crossings projects, and reduced the mileage of gravel road by 3 due to gravel road conversions and community crossings. Other than that, it's a lot of numbers. I can say that Katie did a great job working with Jana and Tiffany in the auditor's office, and I went through everything. We've simplified it by assigning our expenses to a project. Numbers, when we total the project, we call it a project, but we were able to then just plug those into our expense numbers. And bottom line is I went through a lot of that. I didn't go obviously item by item, but the numbers do match, beginning and ending, cash page balance numbers and expenses. So I would, if you would so be inclined, appreciate a motion to approve, and we can all sign it and we'll get that sent off to the state.
I make a motion that we approve the highway annual report and update for 2020.
Got a motion to approve the annual operational report for the highway for 2020?
Second.
Got a second? Discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
If I could get you all to sign any one of the last pages. I've got a copy. It looks like you've got a copy. Last page is one. Well, I'll let everyone to sign that. I'll move into the community crossings. The application deadline was last Friday. I submitted an application on Thursday for asphalt overlay for County Road 650 West and Raver Road. Estimated total cost about $800,000. The community crossings grant pays 75% of that, so $600,000. The total amount that we can apply for it or receive in awards theoretically is $1 million per year. I do have another project in the works. I'm actually going to have a phone conversation with a consultant on Wednesday and with Allen County, so we can go over, scoping, so we can get a proposal on some engineering at the railroad crossing at SDI and County Line. Try and improve that as part of an asphalt overlay project. I was also made aware on Thursday that Larwell was planning on applying for a community crossings project for County Road 100 North, which comes out of Larwell and runs towards the fire station. A portion of that segment of road, according to NDOT's inventory, is county. A portion of it many, many years ago was annexed by Larwell, and then the south side of the road was de-annexed by Larwell, but for whatever reason, the county has always been the maintainer of the road. So I'm aware of this. There's other conflicts between the city because of the city of Columbus City, because of annexations. I just hadn't gotten to resolving those issues, and this came up with Larwell. So I guess I'll propose that this project that they were working on was $40,000 total. So $10,000 they've agreed. They've already got some upfront costs. They've agreed to pay the portion, but it was just too, the deadline was Friday. There was just not enough time to get an interlocal agreement, and I would like to get an agreement on future maintenance. Then we can get the inventory changed to NDOT, and you can see why when I heard about this on Thursday and the application deadline was Friday that. So my proposal counter to their consultant was, let's shoot for the July call for community crossings. And so that's new to some of you, but that's what I'll be shooting for the second call for community crossings. In engineering, we are working on drainage assessments. We had been working with Jana and the new tax software consultant doing some reprogramming on our database so it will be functional with the new tax software, and we're making good progress on that. It takes time. I've got about 4 pages of instructions that you have to go through to what we call freeze the database, so you can archive how it was today, because you process that next year because of the way taxes are, 20 pay 21, 21 pay 22. So we're working on that. We're a little behind my normal end of the year, beginning of the year schedule. The next thing on my list is GASB 34, which is our asset reporting requirements. We've started on it, or I should say, some of my staff has started on it. I need to update all the road work that we did last year and bridge work. We've got to do all the drains and all of our equipment and vehicles. So we are working on that. everyone's aware, we had the biggest winter storm event of the season the other day, and I will say that it could have been worse. I'm guessing we got 5 to 7, depending on where you were in the county, of inches. We got some drifting out of it that carried over through the night, and there's some hard packed snow that is kind of slick in spots. Guys are working it again hard today. We worked 10 hours yesterday on Sunday, so there was some sunshine earlier. Hopefully that'll help a little bit. And just because of all things considered, we've been back and forth with emergency management and sheriff, and you all have been involved. The county is still under an advisory. Just, I think, more or less keep people aware that drive sensibly. Scott gave a COVID report. I'll just briefly say we have had 4 positives in the highway department and 3 in the last 2 weeks. So that's not fun. But everyone is doing all right. Of the 4, one got hit pretty hard. The other 3 not as. So by a week from now, they'll all be back to work. And then finally, I've talked a little bit about our Cume Bridge Fund. We did get confirmation from George at DLGF, and Matt, I believe you have looked at some of the statutes. The setting of the rate is a function of the county commissioners. We last did this in 2015, and I haven't pulled up all of my files and data. I'm not sure what all you're going to want to see. We will have to have, I don't know, 1 or 2 hearings. Jana, are you sure? Do you know for sure?
I think it might, I'll check.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, I'll work with Jana and or George at DLGF so we can hopefully move forward with that. I know that the rate that was set versus the rate that we collected at, that we were about $460,000 short on revenue for the bridge fund. And I know we've got a $800,000 bridge coming up. So we will need the fund. As we move forward, I'll definitely keep you in the loop. If you got any questions, let me know. That's all I have.
Well, thank you
Thank
for
you.
the update. Thank you for all that the highway department's doing. I appreciate the hard work.
We got some good guys. That is for sure.
Thank you, Brandon.
Yep.
For our benefit, could you tell us how many miles of county roads that you deal with?
630.
630?
630. And, you know, the new, I mean, you hear it on the news. The back roads are going to be slick, and all of the meteorologists say it, the National Weather Service says it. I haven't done anything recently. I'm going to say, I don't know, 5 years ago, I was looking at, because we rearranged the number of our each driver's territory and the number of miles, tried to get everybody close to home and kind of even out the mileage a little bit and try and take a somewhat logical approach to efficiency. And don't quote me on the numbers, whoever's recording or listening, but I mean, the bottom line is our county drivers maintain about double the miles of what an MDOT driver would. And most state roads have paved shoulders and nice and flat, and they get to use 10 or 20 times the amount of salt on the roads that we do. And, you know, we did have a couple guys end up in the ditch yesterday because it was slick and heavy snow. And so for what they have to deal with and the number of miles that they keep plowed, they do a good job. They really do.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Let the drivers know that we appreciate it too.
I will.
Next on the agenda, we have amendments to the Whitley County Broadband Committee, and I think Teresa, were you?
Yeah, I'll quickly speak on that. So we will not be amending the broadband committee because we do not have one yet. So I'm going to be working with Attorney Shipman over here to get that going. Why are we doing that? We have to do that in order to get federal funds to get help with broadband. Right as of now, there are no grants, but we should see some of those. So we're trying to be proactive. So we have everything in mind when those grant dollars do become available. And we're also doing it just to get everybody together in the community, different leaders, to figure out different ideas, put everybody's head together and really get the infrastructure and bring better internet to Whitley County. So that you should see that on the agenda here in the next month or so.
Do you have anything on the map?
No, I'm excited about the project. I know it's something Teresa's passionate about. I'm excited to help. I think it's something we really definitely need. So the committee's first step. So.
Thank you, Teresa. Okay. Accounts payable claims and payroll claims approvals. This morning, Chad and I went up and looked at payables. Everything looked pretty good. We had some questions, mostly on the CenturyLink accounts. There seems to be a lot of, we went to a VoIP system on our, which is internet provider for our telephone system, and it was supposed to drop the cost, but it doesn't look like it has yet. So that's one thing that we're going to look into. We're going to make sure that that we understand what's going on with that, because it should have been a lot less. That's one thing we're going to do. Everything else looked pretty good, really. I didn't think I saw too much. So payroll looked good. I'd make a motion or ask for a motion for payroll approval.
I move that we approve payroll.
Got a motion to approve?
Second?
Got a second? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Okay, accounts payable claims.
And after reviewing that this morning with Commissioner Strunk, I'd also move that we approve the accounts payable claims.
Got a motion?
Second?
Got a second? Discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you. Next on the agenda, we have our meeting minutes for January 19th, 2021.
I'll make a motion that we approve the January 19th, 2021 minutes.
Got a motion to approve the January 19th, 2021 meeting minutes for the commissioners as presented.
I second.
Got a second? Discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you. Okay, Matt, did you have anything further?
I do not.
Jana? Chad?
No, I have nothing to add.
Nothing.
Okay, anything from the public? Anybody have anything they'd like to discuss or bring up? Sure.
earlier I was up here asking about, for impact for the postage machine, but I forgot that I had talked to you a while back about getting a connection that will be able to do the postage and our upload. I've got a hold of Butch from, is it SDI? And he's gonna get a hold of Preferred IT, so they're working on it. So I just wanted to give you an update on that.
Good.
So we're still not sure of cost right now. We're not sure.
No, but they are communicating and working.
Okay, thank you, Cindy.
So that does bring something for me. Jana, I wanted to ask, is your postage system set up, is it connected to a phone line in your office? Do you know?
I think so. Because they did it all differently when we switched over, but I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay.
I would have to verify that, but.
Yeah,
I think
I'll
it
just
is.
catch up with you later then.
Okay. No other questions? We'll be adjourned. Thank you, everyone.